Yo, mic check, mic check. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another live. I have no idea which screen I'm sharing. What screen? There we go, screen 2. Right, there we go, there we go, there we go. Morning. Welcome to our 12th. This is like literally becoming a thing now, right? 12th morning live session. Yeah, just really enjoying doing these things with you. They help me. And I've actually come up with another project, but I'll announce that first in the private student group, and then we'll see how to incorporate the bigger public if there's room for that. But yeah, do let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. Do let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. I forgot to do a mic check on my side, but I think we're good. Right, guys, so we're going to do what we do, which is to quickly scan the markets, find opportunities if there are any opportunities, and just make sense of the crazy world we now all live in, right? So that's Forex Market Live. I think today I want to have a look at fins, just to have a quick look. Yeah, and look, man, I don't suspect we're going to find anything different from what we already know about the markets, right? Markets are, I don't think there's anything happening today. Markets are, playing around, risk off for the most part. A lot of it to do with the war, but also fundamentally there was a push around oil. And obviously oil right now has a lot to do with the war. But I guess everyone is weaponizing oil. But today is Wednesday, and I do remember seeing a lot of red. Okay, so the red is for tomorrow. Tomorrow being Thursday. Is today Wednesday or Tuesday? I'm not even sure. Today is Wednesday. Are you serious? I think today is Tuesday. Yeah, today is Tuesday. Yeah, sorry guys, today is Tuesday. Right, so tomorrow is a big day-ish, but Thursday is really the big day in the markets with the CPI data coming out, which obviously is inflation. Guys, and just so you know, I mean, I don't want to do like a full hoo-ha in the morning sessions, because the truth of the matter is the morning sessions are just a quick market scan for the London session. So I'll explain bigger themes in the war rooms, but just so you know, with what's going on with oil, we're looking at a further added 2%, right, of price factoring inflation, at least in the United States economy. And I think that's going to ripple effect across, most countries, right? So it's really not good for anyone, in that particular sense. Right, let's go. How will Russia war with Ukraine end? Here are 5 possible outcomes. I have not opened this. I don't think anyone who posts on the CNBC is a war expert. I think these are just different, options. Hey, Mr. Kakoma, birthday boy. Happy birthday, Kakoma. Well, it's like belated birthday, but happy birthday, brother. Good to see you, man. On the private chat there, right? So I don't know. You guys can read this, figure it out if you believe them. But look, there are many options. One of the scary options is, of course, that this conflict could last for months. But I want you to know, if that's the case, if that is the case, markets move on, right? If you look at COVID, NASDAQ fell only for 2 months. And then while everyone else was dying in the world, NASDAQ went on to do all-time highs on March the 23rd, right? End of March, which is the end of the first financial quarter of the year. Just remember that. Don't like, markets are not here to lose through and through. Yes, we're in an interesting crisis. Yes, for most of us, including myself, it's my first time trading during a war. But I do know for a fact that in 2020, it was also our first time trading during a pandemic. And if anything, markets taught us that after they priced in worst case scenario, there's what I taught on the other day called market capitulation. And all that happens is markets go, thank you, we found our bottom, now we are buying. And then markets spread out. Risk on runs, risk off continues to fall, and there's massive self-correction. So what I was saying to you guys in the morning, those of you who are inside our public Telegram group, and please do join that, for just broader market information if you're already not, and subscribe if you haven't, is the fact that, look, if you're struggling to catch these beautiful sales, and there are lots of them, rather start preparing your skill first, learning to read market structure properly, and have an account that you're going to want to be very well buffed up, because that account is going to hold a lot of good buys. You want to hold those buys through the different ups and downs, because buys don't always spring, right? So what we've always been getting for now is, cat landings in price, where price springs up and then soft breaks to the downside. And I've been talking about that for a while now, right? So American businesses in China say China relations are back to Trump era tensions. So if you look at the dollar DXY between 2008 to 2019, when Trump was doing what was put out on media as the trade wars. Trump had massive trade wars with China. That made Trump look strong. The dollar was strong, and indices actually did well under Donald Trump. I'm not a Trump fan. I hate all things nationalist. I'm not a Democratic. I hate all things democratic state. I don't think Obama was amazing because he was the first black president. I think it's just all a way to play with people's minds. I'm an anarchist, so no state, no government impresses me in general, right? All these people are doing the same things after money, killing people for it, blah, 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 blah. Ukraine's claim he killed another Russian general, right? These guys were at a peace talk yesterday. Please remember the headline. So yesterday, we were going through a third ceasefire. Now there's a general who's dead, right? True or not, it really doesn't matter, right? Let's move on from here, right? So what we really want to see here is how the futures market is looking bad, right? Markets are down. Oil at 122. Guys, check this headline out. This is ridiculous. Oil sinks. What was it? Oil sinks or something like that. Yesterday, there was a correction in price. Palladium, platinum, gold, oil all went down with big red candles, right? And there was this weird, stupid headline that said oil sinks as something, oil sinks headline. And I looked at the charts when I saw it. I was like, why would you say sinks, right? Oil prices jump, share sink. I mean, I won't find it, I guess. I saw it on Facebook. But what a terrible use of words. There's no way oil sunk to 22. The fact that oil is $122 is not a sink. Like, I know it was at 130, like, but this is above $100. The first time anyone should say oil is sinking is when prices is back to $88, 99 US dollars, not above 100, right? So your US 10-year treasury yield is up, oil is up, and your futures are down. 1.5 on the Nasdaq, 1.27 on S&P 500, 1.27 on the Dow, right? It's just terrible. How did markets close last night? Bad. Blood everywhere, right? Your Nikkei, your Asian markets. We should actually start to trade. I'm slowly teaching on UK 100 in these sessions, but I should introduce a very fast Asian index like Nikkei 225. It's a Japanese index. It used to, I'll have to double check now, but when I used to trade it a lot, it used to mirror NASDAQ. And remember, the Asian session starts before the New York session, right? Or starts before the London session as well. So you get good directional market read here, right? So I'll show you guys how to do that over time. But so in pre-market, it's just the same. Things are bad. Across crypto, right, there's a little bit of a celebration here, 1.84%. Please note there's a broken demand on Bitcoin. So we really expect, I don't expect anything amazing to happen there. Bitcoin Cash, the last time I spoke about it was at 310. Now it's at 278, right? So this should kind of give you the kind of indication you need. And then real quick, for like 5 minutes, let's see what's cutting with the latest. And then we look at charts, because really today I want to go through all 10 charts before we finish our morning session, right? Gold soars to fresh highs. I taught on this many times. Safe havens, we're going to 2,000. We're now there. We're going to 200. That's when I'm going to get out of gold, right? A couple of light releases to move things along in the session. German industrial, blah, blah, blah. Won't make a difference. Neck breaking off. Nickel hits 100,000. That is crazy. Yeah, what a short squeeze. I made posts about how there are going to be many short squeezes in the markets. Be very careful. Where you just think it's down, 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 and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, institutions quickly pump the markets up to eradicate most traders on the wrong side. We call that a short squeeze, right? When everyone seemingly is selling an asset for the sake of selling the asset, and all of a sudden, some hedge fund in some downtown corner in Chicago puts $100 million US behind a contract, right? Behind a contract and short squeezes. In fact, I'll tell you now, as much as we're all buying oil, and oil is definitely, well, I'm not even in any oil trades, right? In terms of trading, but my oil futures contract expire when price gets about $150 US. Yesterday, when I was checking up on the contract, There are oil futures contracts pushing price to 180. There are some hedge funds calling oil to go all the way to $200 per barrel. All right. I don't know how else to impact this without emphasizing the fear, but I just want you to know that what's going on in 2022, we are going to carry the economical ramifications for the next 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, right? So you really want to be investing properly. You really want to start having a broader plan for your streams of income, right? You also want to master trade in currencies, because I can tell you something, during a financial crisis, during a pandemic, during a war, during the shutdown of SWIFT, during the banning of currencies, Forex currencies trade, Papa, every time, right? So you can't run away from that. So you really want to use this downtime, the calm before the storm, to really know how to trade EURGBP, EURUSD, EURPOUND. If you haven't taken my course, take the course. If you've taken the course, go back to it and just keep sharpening those skills, because you're going to need a stable source of income in the next 2 to 3 years in the long run, right? This is the lost decade for a reason, people, right? Now, Bank of Japan, cost push inflation without rise in wages won't see inflation target sustained. This is interesting. Remember, America has got the opposite problem, right? Rise in wages, inflation going up. And the Bank of Japan is saying, look, man, cost push inflation without rise in wages won't see inflation target sustained. Every country has an inflation target, right? Some is 2%, blah, blah, blah. So these guys, they've already announced that they might have to break out of rank, and by October, for the first time in a long time, start to increase the interest rate of JPY just to sustain this correction. Now, risk stays on the defensive ahead of the European session. We know why. All right, so BOJ, again, Japan's economy has not yet fully recovered from the pandemic, right? So hence their plan in October. US may act alone to ban Russian oil imports, sources say. Didn't we know this already, right? It's sarcastic, but very true. Germany said you can't ban oil from Russia, because then what are we supposed to do? We don't like the fact that they've been naughty in Ukraine, but we can't punish our people for that. A lot of countries are saying that. India is like, yo, we'll take up all the oil, we'll host it, hold it, and then sell it for an extra profit later on. So if America acts on the sanction thing, then the United States might have no choice but to ban. Remember, US also has a lot of oil imports from Russia, right? But a lot of people are split, even in Congress. Like Nancy Pelosi is back to trying to get them to ban this thing. I told you guys about this crazy lady. She's the one who said ban big tech companies. And when Facebook crashed about 2 years ago, her and her husband vote at the bottom. So just be careful of that, right? So don't do what the headlines tell you to do what the charts are telling you to do. Reserve Bank of Australia are both speaking on Wednesday, right? I've already shown you this on Forex Factory. There we go. So Gavin Lowe speaks, but AUD will jump and shake a bit. We are in a bit of AUD trade, so just be careful. That will create volatility. I did say last night that I will be breaking even sometime today, ahead of this, right? So Morgan Stanley CEO says Fed to hike 4 times by 2022. Goldman Sachs said 8 times. JP Morgan at some point said 7 times. Now they're coming back to go, whoa, all right? Given the situation, right? I haven't even read the article, but I've explained this many times. Because of how hot things are, inflation, war, Powell might have to slow down the interest rate hike. So we're moving from 8 to 7 now to 4 times. And he's saying it'll be by 0.25, not by 50 basis points, just by a quarter of a point each time, and only 4 times this year, which is different from Powell's assessment 2 weeks ago, when Powell said we might do the 2004 module. Well, in the 2004 module, they increased the interest rate hike, yes, by 0.25, but they did it 17 times within a period of 2 years, right? So you can already tell, there's a mismatch here, which creates a lot of market uncertainty. Goldman Sachs raises their focus for the price of gold. Oh my goodness, I want to see what this is. In case I need to adjust. But yeah, I'm definitely taking profit at 200 because 3-month horizon to 300, 6-month horizon Guys, I mean, this is so cool. I'm not in Goldman Sachs. I mean, I was taught by Antonio Krill when I did the ITPM, but the fact that I can now make the same calls they make ahead of time before they make them is really cool. I'm really proud of myself here. But this is interesting, right? So gold is being forecasted for a very, very long upward run. 22500 is a very good favorite. When I exit all my long-term positions, I'm hoping to buy again wherever I'll be able to buy again on the daily, and then this will be my next swing target, 22500. But I must take profits now because I've got an annual target to meet this year, and I cannot just hold, and then be caught up in long-term retracements, right? And I need to bank some money as well. But this is a good thing, for those of you who are trying to master the swing. Consider this. Consider my 2200 exit, and then consider, what's going on here, what Goldman Sachs is saying, right? So this is fundamentally interesting. This also means that these guys know something that we don't know about this war. This means that these guys believe that things are going to get worse and worse and worse for that safe haven to pump like that, right? Gold, really, guys, is a slow move. I don't know why it's overtly celebrated, right? So government deputy of Reserve Bank are speaking on Wednesday, blah, 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 blah. JP Morgan, excluding Russia from fixed income indexes, right? So everyone is kind of like taking Russia off the table. Goldman Sachs raises their focus on the price of gold. We've just read that. Japan bans oil refining equipment from Russia. Yeah. All right, cool. So in the Asian session, nothing much happened. It was just oil and war infused, right? So am I not logged in? What's going on? Right. Blood, nothing amazing, just this little corner here. Energy sector doing well as usual, right? NASDAQ, you saw my if you're in the public Telegram group, that same trade idea I told you guys I am not bullish on NASDAQ or any tech stocks for a very long time until I see clarity. Until then, I'm looking for sell setups and I'm taking them, right? So that's the signal. But I know there's some of you who are going to want to buy at 430 because that's what they told you to do. Good for you, right? Forex market, let's go. Let's quickly have a look at some charts here today, right? So we've got EURUSD, right? Still digging a nice hole, right? Sometimes trying to come up, but not. I told you to just wait on this. Just please wait. Finally, Pound USD, perfect alignment with EURUSD, although Pound USD still has more room to fall, right? We've got more room to fall on the Pound USD. USD/JPY, we've spoken about this many times, monetary policy divergence, right? As long as we've got a strong dollar or interest rate hikes, right, this might still edge to the upside. We've got a buy order that we would very much like to be triggered. Unfortunately, it looks like it's too far. We would need the dollar to really fall before to come collect us, right? Until then, we're in trouble. AUD, USD, we literally were missed by maybe, I don't know, a piplet, 2 pips, right, from yesterday's sell. I told everyone in the public Telegram group, adjust your charts. There is a 1-hour supply that markets might come back for. But when I woke up this morning, price was running. I am saying it was on the move. Price was gone, like not even trying to come back. Right, so we might have missed this trade idea. We've been waiting for it, but at least we caught a couple of trades. NZD, JPY, and AUD Swiss franc. Right, NZD US dollar still pointing up a bit, just like AUD USD, but we really want to start to see some type of correction. Euro pound starting to find its footing. Remember, we want this because we've got some sells to take somewhere up here on the daily time frame. We really want to be engaged in this particular market because there's a lot of room to the downside. Right, Pound JPY, we're arriving at a daily demand, this one right there. And I've told you guys in the public Telegram group, take it with a pinch of salt, man. My mind is not yet okay with the damage that Pound JPY did to my portfolio last year. It wasn't a lot of money. I mean, it was $500 US loss, $800 US loss, and then I was up almost something thousands, and then I broke even on zero, right? So, but that's not normal. Well, that sounds a bit cocky. That's not usual for my trading setup. So there's something about this asset that I need to personally work on. So whenever I give out a Pound JPY signal, you take it with a pinch of salt and you make a decision for your portfolio. In the long run, I still see a big drop, and that's what messed me up last year. I was so focused on catching, I think it was about 2,000 and something pips, right, in a swing. I really wanted it that bad. I made the mistake of focusing on the results and not on the process, and I got burned 3 times. All right, so that's why for now I'm saying until I figure out what my problem is, and I have 3 perfect good trades on pound JPY, I'll still be a bit edgy when making calls here. Right, Bitcoin, as usual, you got people pulling for the moons, even though Bitcoin wants to go a bit down, right? So we'll see what Bitcoin does. We're done here. We're done there, right? So all right, so there we go. There's pound JPY. There's pound JPY in front of us. We might as well just deal with this real quick here. I just want you to really see what I mean by, don't trust my instincts, right? So I said last time in a war room, I don't remember which war room it was. War rooms on Sundays. I said, if I'm ever going to sell, I'm only going to sell up there. If I buy, I'm only going to buy down here. And that was just so I could peacefully move away from this trade. Well, markets have now finally arrived at one of those areas, predominantly where I said I was going to buy. It's a bit tricky, because you can see there's a strong bullish leg here on the weekly timeline, and you can see that markets really haven't made contact with the monthly governing area where a sell would need to happen. And so my argument back then in that war room was probably, well, I'd rather buy up to that sell area than sell coming back down. Both would give me good risk reward ratio. But again, this asset, given the geopolitics, man, of everything and the war and blah, 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 I mean, this asset really is struggling. I think it's struggling to maintain a bullish case scenario. And that's why now all of a sudden we're starting to get clearer, sharp falls. I think a buy would work, but I don't think a buy would run all the way up here to give us a 1:7. Yes, I'm targeting up there because there's glass effect here. But like I said, as long as we have the scenario of a very weak pound following the journey of a very weak euro, this trade idea does not necessarily work outright, but it's a good risk to take. What I would do, however, is to change the optics of this trade, right? So I would potentially enter on the daily demand and then break a risk reward a trade idea. What that means is, and I'm not saying you should take this trade, right? Number one, pound JPY is not something that I'm supposed to be good at. Okay, and I'll exit this. This is almost a 3, right? This is a 1:3, right? And at the moment, of course, you know me. At the moment, this area here, for example, if we get some situation where markets break above these highs and then retrace and then close above them, I will immediately, if I was in it, break even, so that it makes a lot of sense. And then because of where I want us to stop, I would venture into trying to trade with the trend, right? If markets have given up on even bothering to go back to that strong area of sell, which was a little bit higher than usual, I would then try to open some sell setups here. That's what I would do. I would base that on that. So you can take a buy because a retracement buy, knowing that it's going to fail. It might fail you. This buy here might absolutely fail you, right? So you're better off waiting for some action somewhere here. But I could be completely wrong. Right? So if you don't want to mess up your portfolio and take an unnecessary loss, then just take this with a strong pinch of salt. But yeah, this is what I'm seeing in pound JPY. So really, I don't even care about the buy trade. I'm really more focused on the sell trade, and I'm focused on the sell trade once again because my governor is selling. Like, just because I've drawn it so tightly like that does not mean it's not, right? This whole area, we're deeply inside a massive, governing sell structure. Let me just fix this so you can see it properly, right? This is a massive sell point, right? And so it's going to take a lot of time. If we look at where we want to sell, let's go to the 2-hour time frame, somewhere there, just above this monthly supply, right? So this is probably like one of the last places price should come back to if markets really want to go down. So I wouldn't bother with the buy, but the buy could work. Remember what I said yesterday, I'm too cautious. I like slow money. I don't like my money fast. So I take less risk. I trade less than most of these people running signal service groups. And so it looks like nothing is happening until you compare results end of year to year, right? So those of you who are buying, please buy very hard and push price here. And then I'll be here to sell against you, right? So cowboy trades, definitely a buy opportunity, but just be very careful, right? Be very careful. What does this consolidation mean? Be very careful of that. What does all these multiple rejections up here mean? Why didn't price climb above here, right? Be careful with your buys. How far can these buys take you? This is how you need to be thinking. That's what the structure is telling you. All right, so we'll watch out for that. Right now, guys, back to our routine. Let's not. I found a gem for the wealth in 3 years financial notes that I'm preparing. Like it's so stupid that I didn't know it, and I found areas. I'm gonna tell you guys right now. I'm never gonna make it like a tinglet in your face. Ethereum Classic. I didn't even know about this stuff. Then I found that one of my wallet's exchanges actually has it, right? And it's like $24 US. Hey, woo, 24 US. Now you would understand why I'm excited. I'm not excited because it's Ethereum. I think Ethereum is going to crash Bitcoin. I've always said that's my long-term thesis. I'm not changing that idea. If it offends you, so be it. But this thing is at about $26 US today. All right. This is called Ethereum Classic, and I look at its use value, and it makes a lot of sense. But then I was like, how do I justify buying this thing? Well, let's look at the all-time high, because the all-time high will always reflect, how well this. Oh, look at my charts already marked up. The all-time high will always reflect how well the asset did when Ethereum was doing well. So I'm talking about inside the womb of what's it called, this of a bull market, right? This thing was up all the way at about $180 US. So you're at 26 right now, but in terms of your evaluation, you almost got up here, 182. Let's get it right. There we go. Okay, so let's call it $180 US, and this thing is falling right now. So right now, I started to do the maths, and I really went crazy, because right now we're about 26, right? And if our technical analysis is true and wildly true, you can tell. The small caps always give you a sign of what's going on in the market. I always tell you, if you want to understand what's going on in NASDAQ, the US tech in general, SP 500, don't focus on mega caps. Look at Russell 2000. They're more sensitive to the everyday nuance, right? Same thing with altcoins, right? Look, there's nothing here to catch price, right? So you could get a situation where this thing falls all the way to $6. Oh my goodness, guys, $6 on Ethereum Classic that used to be $180. When the tides turn this year, next year, I don't care. I'm a long-term investor. As long as I eat avocado, drink matcha tea, I have lemon and ginger, and check when I cross the road, right? It's safe to assume I might be alive till I'm 70. Now, if I'm alive until I'm 70, 80, because I'm eating avocados, which I hate, I absolutely find disgusting, right? And I'm reading every day, which, by the way, reading every day creates new neural connections in your brain, which actually genetically keep you young and active, stopping Alzheimer's disease, dementia, all that stuff. And I'm going on and on and on. The point is, if I am this old before I die, then I can hold assets for 5 to 10 years. I think that's a healthy way to think about investments. If you're not going to die tomorrow and you're guaranteed that if you cross the road and if you take your vaccines, I'm not talking about being struck by lightning. I'm simply saying, I can wait. I can wait for you to drop for another year, but I'm going to start dollar cost averaging right now. Right, I'm going to start buying this thing at 26. I see it next month at 20%. I'm going to buy some more. I'm going to keep buying, because somewhere down here was some whales insider trading. How do we know? We see a Talitha area. A range in this particular market means that somebody with a lot of money finally got tired of accumulating and pumped the market. Whoever that person is, or those group of people, be it the founder or whales, when price comes here to meet the buy orders, we're going up. And if I've been buying at 26, 24, 15, 20, 12, and also buy again at 6, the amount of tokens I'll have and the amount of money I will have when price, number one, gets back to its all-time heights, which we look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and many crypto classics, markets always return to their all-time high and then make a new all-time high. Then I'm golden. I am golden. Me and Nes retirement fund can be here as well, right? This is a classic thing. Ethereum Classics. Look it up. Do your own research, or just join the Wealthy in 3 Years program where you'll get all this stuff, right? So I've wasted so much time, but yeah, it's good to be here, right? So let's go to Euro Pound as quickly as possible. You can't say I didn't put you on game though, because I did. I did, and I'm gonna write down. I made a video around that, and then I don't know how people are gonna find it, because it's just gonna be inside one of the many morning sessions, right? But getting rich, guys, is simple, right? There we go. There we go. You see these areas that I warned you guys about, cowboys. These areas that are too low. Sometimes this is why. This is why. Right, so we spoke about this yesterday, EUROPOUND, and I said, look, man, there are a couple of supplies here, but now I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for price to go a little bit higher, right? This is literally how markets moved yesterday between this red area here and this red area here. This is all markets yesterday, the 7th. Markets took out cowboy areas, one, told you, right? And look at this, 2, took all these out. And I said, I might take a chance there, and now prices come. And now when markets were taking cowboys out, markets were strong like an arrow. All of a sudden, there's now distribution. So that got me thinking, interesting, right? I might want to take this risk now. So before I take this risk of selling over here, I really have to look back. You can see I've marked my swing area. My swing area is where I really want to sell, because I'm a swing trader. I really want, so I want price to come all the way up here for a swing, because if price can come there, I'm pretty sure there's confluence with the daily area of value, which makes that selling place a little bit more reliable. So we're going to start moving backwards a bit. We're going to go to the 2-hour chart. Right. I see you, right? So markets got rejected there just before. That could have been a potential area of competition. I don't know. But there we go. Markets are starting off strong today in the London session. I could get an AUD situation where markets just drop today and I don't get triggered, right? So that's what the 2-hour is telling me, that look, man, that zone that you have in yellow on the 1-hour time frame, that zone is potentially strong. You know, you might want to take a risk on it. But I still have my attractive swing a little bit higher, right? Let's go to H4. Let's see if we can get more confluence. Boom. 2-hour, 1-hour gone. No confluence. That means most swing traders are going to ignore this area. They're going to be patient and ignore that area. And I want to be like most smart swing traders. I don't want to be like dumb money. So I'm going to wait up here. I'm not saying this area won't work. Don't get me wrong. I'm simply saying that, geez Louise, somebody pissed off the buyers. The buyers are back. I don't even know what the sentiment is for buying, especially for Euro pound. I mean, the pound has nothing, like I say to you guys many times, there's absolutely nothing, to help this thing, right? So we've got a bearish engulfing pattern on the governing time frame. There is no demand on site to catch price. We go to the weekly time frame. Maybe there's something there that we missed. Nope. All we have is markets, fundamentally below. Yeah, that's definitely below. That's definitely below. I honestly am shocked, right? On the weekly, there's also nothing, right? And if you look careful on the weekly, though, we don't have a bearish engulfing pattern, which is fine, right? But markets are pushing a little bit up, and I really do think it's just for a gentle sweet retest of something. This is where our 2-hour is on the big scale of things. That's where our swing trade is. And if you finally come to the daily time frame, you have this situation here. You have just a simple, nice spring reaction to the upside, and markets pushing up. And the only thing that could begin to start slowing down price is where last markets had an imbalance. On the daily time frame, it's up here. All right. So for cowboys and impatient people and risk takers, and there's nothing wrong with that entire category. Please don't assume I'm taking a piss on you guys. Just remember that markets have a need to go back up. Right now, the swing trade for me is also a little bit tricky. While I want it and I'll take a shot there, right? I'm already anticipating a loss of money. Why? Well, there's a gap above. And with gaps, markets love to close gaps. Markets do not like, living a life of the unknown. Why there are gaps? And if that's the case, then even this swing trade might struggle if markets wick out, right? So I will be placing 2 swing sell orders, one here and one at the top. That means the one here, I'm definitely going to take a punishment or a beating for. I might actually lose that trade. If I go at Kinihashi on the H4 time frame, right, for me to get triggered on this one, because remember, when markets come in here, the body of the red candlestick would stop somewhere there like this. And all it would take would just be a wick to fill the gap there. And the wick might not make it all the way to the top there. So I really need to be generous with the ultimate sell position at the top. I'm teaching so much today. You know, if you're not a 365 student, these morning sessions, although you will not get everything, and I strongly advise that you take the course, you really should be taking some serious notes here, because this is so important, especially if you're not going to do our module 3. All this stuff that I'm doing is pretty much the first 4 videos of module 3. It's like pure, we still have to talk about week off distribution and all sorts of things to make these trade calls, right? But the long of the short is the sell up here. I would be very generous about my area of value and my area of competition. I would not risk it to being strictly module 1 and talking about the reasonable body there. And the reason for that is you don't want a situation where markets come and fill the gap. Because remember, look at where this wick stopped. This wick stopped somewhere there, right? That's where that wick stopped. And so really the gap that you want filled is just the stuff in here. So markets could enter somewhere there and call that complete and actually not trigger your sell, right? But for the most part, I will have a pin in order here and a pin in order there. And if there are any risk takers, and it's okay to be a risk taker. Sometimes markets move. Remember, this is not to say markets are going to get to my swings today, right? Markets will get to my swing areas next week, okay? Like this is literally the reality. I have to wait. So markets could react here, and then today markets could go crashing again for a week, for 2 weeks, while you're still waiting for Leroy. So this is like a trader's call. But if you're here to ask me what I would do as a swing trader, I would wait for swing setups. Swing setups are only found on the daily. Sure, you can do a clean MTA into 15 minutes to 1 hour to find better entries, but they're given out clearly on the daily, right? So this is a nice place to take a risk. I agree. And then also just be very careful how far price can go down, right? So if this works, you know, you want to take profits here, man. It really, in this market, guys, you really kind of want to take profits. You really do. You really don't want to be in a situation where you lose out on perfect trade setups, right? So that's Euro Pound. You know, for those of you who are interested, I'm going to move on to the next chart right now, which is Euro USD. Let's go to our, hey, Christian, I don't know what you wrote. I don't know what that is, VOM.red. I don't know if it's another language. I don't know if it's like bots. I never know what's going on. But yeah, man, good to have you. But yeah, I don't know what you wrote there in the comment section. I'm going to go to our usual chart. Right. Cowboys, there you go. There you go. This area that we spoke about yesterday for the Cowboys worked. This worked for the Cowboys. Look at that, right? Price then came back down. I don't know how much money you would have made. I don't know if you're happy with how much you've made. I don't know if you're still holding, right? But if I'm in this trade right now, I would look at this area here as a potential good place to hold price. If my stop loss is up there, I would move my stop loss just down below here so I can break even. That means you make not a lot of money, obviously, but again, how much have you made here? There's not a lot of pips to the downside, and all markets have done is range, right? So markets are waiting for something. Remember, once again, if you're selling, you are selling inside a governing demand, inside a weekly demand, inside a daily demand. While we agree, and I've explained why this immediate demand must be taken out, and when I say must, it's because it's in the way of where price is going. I really want to thoroughly emphasize that it's not an easy job. You don't just sell through demands, right? In fact, you never do with your own money as a retail trader. I always tell people, wait for the institutions to take out these areas. So you're in for a long journey. Let's just give you a daily time frame perspective. Do that. There we go. Right. This is a daily time frame perspective. Yeah, so this black line was the first demand that we thought, you know, markets might positively react to when markets crashed in. You can see markets didn't care. Price didn't care, man, and that's really because of the sentiment and the war. And then what you have then was markets accumulating and distributing and getting ready for a long-term rally, right? So this was literally the demand in March 2023. In March, 23rd of March 2020, right? So it's interesting, right? Price has come full circle in 2 years. Markets have come full circle. This is the COVID recovery, which created the demand that was saying it has to be removed. Markets have arrived there now and are making their way past it, right? And I'm just looking at my live account, guys, at how my broker fills orders. And I have to tell you something, I really don't think we should, I definitely know for a fact, sorry, in the background, I've got another screen open, and I was just looking at Euro Pound to see if I should set a pending order, because it looks like if you're going to take the trade, you better take it now, right? Not now, but you need to set your pending order ASAP. No, where's this one? So I had the screen open on the other side, and I'm thinking, well, should I really take this cowboy swing? There's this 2-hour chart here. And man, on my live account with the broker that I'll be using for these short-term trades, they're really stingy, right? So H4, no order blocks, and already markets are starting to shrink and slow down, and it really looks like an uptrend to me for now. So I will not be taking this with you. I just really want to be so clear with people. I will not be in this trade with you, but it could work. But I'm not down for it at all. All right. So I thought maybe I'd be under pressure. Maybe I should put a pin in order right now, but it seems like there's no need. I will not be taking the trade. Right. So you saw there for yourselves in the daily time frame, the first demand, first daily demand inside a long list of demands is technically broken. Right. This is where it ends. The green dotted line is below the black line, which means that daily demand is now broken. Markets are trying to turn, but price has broken that stuff. If we get some clarity, and we go Akini Hashi on the daily time frame, the red dotted line is where price is today. That's gone. Right, you get this noise, this cluster. This is a massive distribution of price. You get a spring, you get, I'll teach all this stuff in module 3, and you really kind of like want this kind of stuff if to know for sure that you're about to catch a monster intraday trade. You really want to make this kind of stuff, happen, in the charts, and it's absolutely ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Right, so I can't see anything clearly, guys. I can't see anything clearly at all here. It's I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what could catch price, right? All these areas, like look at this, has been used, has been really used, and then markets exploded, maybe created a small area here. There was a little bit of buying, and then price finally left, and then what was this? Was this a retest or not? It's a mess. I mean, yeah, as far as I can tell, this needs to go, honestly speaking, but it doesn't mean you need to be reckless with yourselves, because you're still selling in strong areas, right? So you might get some strong return, right? Given the sentiment right now and the fact that we're sentiment trading, war seems to be driving price a whole lot lower, right? So for me, I'll start to consider EURUSD buy possible somewhere there. All right, I'll start to consider EURUSD buy possible somewhere there, which means for those of you good with taking risks, this is one of them, I guess. But for the most part, I would wait for a better retracement. Personally, I really would wait for price to pull out of the slump to the upside a bit and maybe sell when markets are clear here for another further down. Right, the next big thing that's going to move EURUSD and DXY is on Thursday this week, so just watch out for that. We've got CPI data coming out. We know that they manipulated the wage stuff with NFP on Friday, which generally affects CPI, because if no one got increased wages, then why are people increasing the prices of commodities, which is what this argument is going to be, arguing for. Thank you so much. Right, so it's really a situation of wait and see or take the risk and drop, right? So I don't know what you guys feel about this. For me, there's no trade. There's no safe trade, so to speak, right? And I know you guys are good with taking risks. I have not, right? So I might wanna wait at least for price to come there, which was at the entry point of this demand. At least I just need price to really push up. All right, why is euro pound pushing up and all these euro pairs are not yet pushing up? So for me, yesterday's trade idea is still the same. I'll wait here and then make a decision when price is closer there. Right now, there's nothing to do at the bottom. Right, EURCAD. You guys will have to bear with me for another 30 minutes. I just want to do all 10 assets so that we are all on the same page. I promise to stop with side stories and just get through them, right? So, strong bounce, but took out an area. I want to see how strong that area was, right? Look at that strong spring, but took out a demand. In our academy, when demands are taken out, we are not impressed with how strong price eruption to the outside. We know that something else is happening. So they took out this demand. This is a weekly demand. Ooh. This is a weekly demand, right? Happening there, right? Completely knocked out. I just want to might as well see the bigger picture. What's in the red? So much cluster, right? So all I know is weekly has been taken out for now. That's good enough for me to know that it's not a good sign. Because in the long haul, EuroCAD will drop. Remember, oil is doing extremely well. So anything CAD, guys, anything CAD at the end, selling it, you know, trying to buy it, buying EuroCAD is you're just asking a lot. You are asking for euro to be super strong at a time where it's very weak, and also to be strong against CAD at a time where oil is doing very well, right? So you really do yourself well by taking like sell setups like this. What we want to see is hopefully a strong retracement, right? So that we can finally start to see some entries, right? So there's the first one here, right? There's the line there at 140, which marks, you know, the beginning of a potential sell setup. We can see that the arrow was a little bit broken with markets trading sideways towards the Asian markets into today. That's nice. I would like a little bit more sideways movement or a drop or something before markets get up here. If that happens, then yes, I will take a risk and try and sell here. If that happens, right? If I get more distribution in price, then I'll absolutely gladly take a sell setup there on EuroCAD. Now that EuroCAD has also removed their daily and weekly demand, right? I'm excited. Granted, this is my golden area, right? I really would have loved to sell somewhere here. So I'll take a sell. It could be a small lot size. Knowing me, I'd rather take a 1:3 R&R and then break even quickly, right? So this is quite big, about 120 pips, right? So you know, an adventurous soul would have a sell order here and a stop loss all the way up there. An adventurous soul with a big account who knew what they were doing, which is kind of like what banks would probably do, or hedge funds for that matter. Right, but because we are, let's think about retail traders and small accounts. You might want to split your risks, 2.5% here, 2.5% there, or just, you know, go with the classic advice of supply and demand, sell high no matter what, and just wait up there. All right, so probably maybe let's just do that. So I would just wait up there and not become a hypocrite and take a cowboy trade, right? So there are two trade options, 1 and 2. I'm just gonna wait up there. Those of you who are in the buy, you know, just be very careful. What you do want to do if you want to buy EuroCAD is you want EuroCAD to slow down, even if it slows down because of the first sell here, and then to come back down here for you first to this, you know, H4 demand, and then, you know, hopefully ride it back up to where I'm going to sell. That's kind of like, you know, the next 3 or 4 days type of setup you want to see. Either markets get all the way up there and we sell, or if markets slow down, come back down there. If you want to take a buy, your risk, your choice, and then you meet us. We'll meet you up here when it's now time for us to sell. That's EURCAD. Then we've got EURNZD. Everything is gonna be all right. Right. So yeah, you see. Cowboy areas, right? This is on the H4 time frame. They're not being respected. The closest sell towards big demands, guys, is what we call low on the curve. So they're not like, if you're trying to sell here, you're gonna. I mean, I keep saying this before it happens, and it's happening. But again, once in a while, you'll find one cowboy trade work out, and it kind of like gives you that illusion that it's working. I'm not for that life, right? So H4. This is markets are buying in this area now, getting ready to liquidate this area. So if you're good with catching springs, Some people would be looking for buy setups right now because price is about to go up. That's the sign that we wanted, and it's given, given to us, right? On the H1 time frame, this is the first place where markets might be stopped, right? On the H1 time frame. Doesn't have confluence with anything else, but it is a very good place to start looking for potential confluence. I'm trying to minimize this thing just so I can see, a swing high, swing low setup. Geez, it's all the way up there. Yeah, this cell setup on the H1 is naked. It's really solo. It could really be good, or markets will just bulldoze through it, right? And now let's just see what the bigger picture looks for EURNZD. In case markets have arrived at a demand and we don't know it. Just gonna delete this, right? So look at price. I'm literally on the governing time frame, right? I'm literally on the governing time frame. Right, so look at where markets are. This area is not green, and it's not green because I'm not that excited about the demand that it created, right? This is really a weak demand, very weak demand. It's not like the type of setup we have, but it's strong enough to create an uptrend in 2017, right? And then markets have an anticipated bearish engulfing candle on the other side. So the argument is it might be good enough to send price here for the next 2 months, right? Who knows? But it's not the strongest demand. The strongest demand is obviously right down there at the bottom, which is a major demand, a destination demand. Interesting. So EURUSD is very close to completing its path, right? So now actually check this out, guys. Major supply, major demand, market stopped halfway, right? So it's supposed to come back here, right? So now all we are is low on the curve and back into bullish territory. We went 50% up on that curve, turned on a rightful place to turn, and then markets are back there. So outside of war, this chart should be doing very well very soon. And when I say soon, I'm talking about we're in March now, April, May. This chart should start doing well in the next 2 months, within the second financial quarter. And this could be the beginning of that. Like if you look on the weekly, there is absolutely nothing stopping price from going up until there. Right. So if you're selling this thing on the smaller time frames because of war sentiment, sell with wisdom. Sell with wisdom, number one. Number two, sell knowing when to get out. Sell and take profits, because what you're really doing is you're going against someone who was on their journey long before war started, who already knew where they wanted to go, and it was further up than they are right now. All right, so that's really what you should consider. Be very much considerate of where price is going. So right now, this 1 hour time frame to me really feels like a really bad idea. What would be a good idea would be to partner up with the trend. Really partner up with the trend. You see a bullish engulfing pattern. You might wanna, let price breathe a bit, right, with the stop loss there, and then try your luck for the upside, right? Maybe take profit on the 1 hour supply. I don't think I'll be selling this asset at all right now. I really need to understand what on earth is going on. But EURNZD seemingly wants to go back up, right? And you can see the last time there were any serious sell orders was all the way up here on this grayscale area. If this H1 supply holds, I'll be impressed. I really would be, right? It doesn't even have confluence with the 2 hour, right? I mean, in fact, on the 2 hour time frame, the first time markets even think about really pushing price all the way down to the demand is somewhere up there, right? So this to me, danger, right? I'm telling you now, right? And buying here also looks a bit short-term risky. The more I dial down, these things, I'd rather get a retest down here and buy. So I'll probably put a pending order down there. I'll just make a note here, and then see what happens. EURNZD buy on the H1, right? So on H2, sorry, H2 buy, right? So I'd rather buy a little bit lower, not where prices is being action. Although some people might take advantage of this thing because of how H4 looks. H4, remember, is giving us a bullish engulfing pattern, complicated 365 candles already tested, and markets are going. So this market might be very bullish today, right? Watch out for that, and don't say I didn't tell you. But for me, I will not sell on H1. I'm going to wait for a better clean sell all the way up there. And I might take a risk and try and buy on the H2, which is a little bit lower here, right? For me, it just makes so much sense. Markets are taking out these lower supplies, then hopefully this will happen at some point, right? So that's EURNZD. Okay, next we got pound AUD. Serid, pleasure, buddy, pleasure. Oh man, we are a little bit behind with our opening session lines. Right, so nothing amazing here, right? We spoke about how this thing was just falling, and how it was going to bounce back. We threw the line where it was going to bounce back. I think I was very clear that I would not be in that bounce back, but that bounce back right now seems to be doing quite well. Let's switch to H1 and actually get a clean understanding of where we're going. Right, so this green area is obviously a broken demand on the charts. I'm going to remove this fib line just so we can just really get a fresh, unadulterated perspective on price. And then this was yesterday that I've just pinpointed now on the charts, and this is where we are in the opening today, right? So clean Talitha areas to the upside, and really what we want to see is how far will this upside last, and can we join the upside? So just like EURNZD, right? You can see markets have taken out that immediate supply. Markets are very strong. So this is quite nice. This is very nice. Nice for charts to go. Couple of pips to the next bus stop for those of you who are cowboys and can find entries there. That's 200 pips, man. That's clean. That is clean. I would love for price to come back here, although I know deep down in my heart, if they do come back down there, markets will be very, very tempted to come back down here too. Right, so I'll have two small pending orders, one here that I'm happy to do if it does, but hopefully catch price there. And then I'll simply be holding markets from there, for example, all the way to somewhere there. All right, clean 300 pips, or if I'm lucky and markets come all the way to trigger me here, that's 390, right? This is quite bullish for the now, right? I don't know how long the now is. You remember, AUD is now falling. Although sell order that we've been seeing on the COT reports, AUD Swiss franc, the trade that we're in, falling, right? As long as the change of money rotation has started. So just because things are bad for euro pound across the board, remember smart money is also aggressively selling AUD. So pound AUD buys are working out very well. So that's what that means, right? So that's why on this chart, I'll be looking for some buy setups, right? And remember, this is short time frames, guys. It could happen in the next 24 to 48 hours. So just watch out for this logic here, but that looks quite nice, right? EUROJPY, this has been, you know, the gift that keeps giving, right? She fell properly. For those who listened, she literally fell very, 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 very properly, right? So these are all green zones, are all daily demands, right? But you know, in the long run, I still think we've got long-term weakness in EUROJPY. I told you guys that JPY's first time of real strength will be in, ooh, that's interesting, will be, you see how, like, you're watching this stuff on the small time frame, you can almost forget about the big picture. Like, things change so quickly, man. We have arrived at a demand, but demand is on the other side of structure. So we must be careful, right? When demands are or supplies are on the other side of a broken structure, we respect them theoretically, but we also acknowledge that they really can't do much. But right now, JPY has finally found some buying strength, right? So if you go, you know, I'm trying to let me just go at Kinihashi. So yeah, definitely can't be ignored. So for the most part, we have a situation where markets need to buy a bit. But I do think this short-term buying in the month of March, number one, and then probably in the month of April-ish, I don't know, we'll see with the war, would lead to some pretty beautiful longer-term setups through this green zone, right? But it's going to take time. And so we need to be very patient and sensitive, right? She literally has done a job to drop like crazy. I think it would be very brave for anyone to sell at what they think is a resistance. It will be very brave. This is 5 traders. We don't really have an imbalance on the daily time frame. We don't have a PCP. A PCP is not just because the candlesticks are a different color. A PCP is largely due to all the rules in the markets. We need an imbalance, right? We don't have a module 2 type of setup here. So I'll be very careful to sell here. I would leave this alone if I were you. But that's for the swing. Intraday traders, our short-term traders, you know, you could try your luck. There could be some short-term retracements from buying here, which is why as a swing trader it wouldn't work, but for an intraday trader, those short-term retracements is pretty much what you guys live for, right? What could be interesting to look out for is a buy signal on EURJPY, something like that. That really could be interesting. I'll go to 2-hour time frame. Yeah, that definitely could be something to look out for, right? I'm pretty sure there's some people already bought at the pin if you're watching this market carefully. And then just pace yourself properly, right? So the moment you get a chance to healthily, you don't just break even out of nowhere, guys. You also need to let price breathe. So price, generally, the rule of thumb is whatever timeline you're looking at, markets must create 3 order blocks above where you've entered so that you can break even, especially on the smaller time frames, right? Otherwise, you're just going to have a disaster. And then just look out for this area here if you're buying, right? Markets could make a short-term retracement turn. And if that happens, then that's maybe where I will get in. But I'll be looking at this level first for now to see if there's anything potentially there for me to kind of like get a hold of, right? Right now, we're still waiting for imbalances. So it's still early days on EURJPY. And I'm looking at EURJPY on the wrong chart. So I apologize. There we go. So this is kind of like what we have here on our intraday time frame setup, and you can see we already discussed that if there was any selling that was going to happen, it was going to happen somewhere up there, right? Because this was all cowboy stuff, and cowboys, if you sold there, you made little to nothing, or you got stopped out, right? That's what's happened, right? All the immediate supplies lower the curve will always work against you. Not always, but most of the time. It's just not worth the risk, in my humble opinion, right? So just to see again, do we have a daily supply there? Right, so with that H4 supplies in this area that failed to give us confluence on the daily. So it's quite weak. It's there, but it's weak. Just be mindful of that, right? And then if you're trying to catch a buy like me somewhere down here, then you're looking at a good climb, very healthy climb. So also just be mindful of this. Seems to be a change of money this to today, tomorrow, or at least for this week, right? Where all these down assets might be looking to catch some air, to breathe a bit, to retrace and go a little bit higher. EURAUD. Yes, today we're going to do all 10 assets. We are now on asset number 7. It's beautiful. We have to see the whole market for what it is holistically. I mean, the sessions could be like 2 hours, but I always imagine people have better things to do. So I have to stop at some point. Right, so daily area cleanly removed on the EURAUD. When euro was absolutely weak, it was, going for a fall. And now that we've got like slight change of ideas, money also, slowly but surely tanking to sell some AUD. We also have EURAUD arriving at a strong area of value, it seems. Well, not strong enough, but averaged out to be a good place where some buying took place. And so because of that, be very careful, right? How far these buyers are willing to push. Everybody in the market is desperate. Remember, guys, remember GameStop? You guys remember GameStop during COVID? Does anyone remember GameStop in the comment section? GameStop was a stock where basically they used to make these old classic games, old like CD games. I'm a big gamer, by the way. But GameStop is obviously in America. And some hedge funds just looked at it and thought this is a terrible stock. So they just started selling. They out leveraged, over leveraged a lot of companies, and retail traders, retail stock traders countered hedge funds, literally created Reddit groups and took out. There were many hedge funds that went bankrupt, right? Because of GameStop. Hedge funds go bankrupt because for them they're like, now we're going to destroy this company, we're going to sell it up. GameStop, see, I don't even have to do anything. GameStop, there it is, there, right? So White Square Capital is told it to be closing down. Right? Many hedge funds lost to simple retail traders who liked GameStop, even though the stock was worth absolutely nothing. A lot of people pumped that market, made a lot of money as retail traders, and also did a beautiful short squeeze on hedge funds. Literally, it was like something like big. The fact that retail traders could unite like that, it's actually technically illegal, depending on how you do it, right? from yesterday. I placed a sell on H4. All right, cool. I'll have a look at 80 Swiss franc, man. Oh no, but okay, but that's an old trade. So it definitely was in the 365 master spreadsheet. But yeah, I'll have a look for you. I mean, I don't even trust the trades we're in right now, to be honest with you, because of the war. I'm not that excited about them, but yeah, we'll see what's happening. Right, so markets are leaving a governing demand. Be careful of that. Markets are strong. Just like the other pairs in the short term, we should be kind of like trying to look for buys. I think I'm not gonna buy all these risky assets. So for this one, I might leave unless if it comes back quickly and gives me a much more clean entry. Wow, this one is ready to rumble, right? So what you want to see is something like this. And then you want to buy it down there. Right, you want to see some reaction there. It might trade sideways and not even give you a full reaction, but if it does give you a reaction and comes down here and it goes up to buy, then you want to start buying there. But just be very careful, right? Everywhere you go, someone is ready to take you out. But that might be a good place to stop by that white area of value. All right, let's figure out why it's white. Okay, so this whole area here is really where all buys should stop in the short term. Short-term buyers, get out, because anything can go from there. All right, so this is what I see on this particular chart, and this is what I'll be, potentially looking at trading, if it makes sense when price gets there. So I'm just making a note here. Euro AUD done, and then number 8, Euro Swiss franc. I hate the franc, I really do. Literally, all these assets are so perfectly aligned, man. So the markets are really just taking a breath before the next big fall, or just trying to kind of like reset and understand its bearings, right? So let's see what markets are react. Oh goodness gracious. Euro Swiss franc is now opened the door to hell. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we don't know. We literally have no bottom now in Euro Swiss franc. Yeah, I know the retail traders would like to go. What about the 52 weekly lows? Okay, that's a valid argument. I know that stuff. I know you're gonna want to equalize that area, and I guess it's a good place to start. But the truth of the matter is, there's no one trying to buy Euro Swiss franc right now, institution-wise. No one, none, nothing. Neither. Right, it's opened the door to hell. It has to create its own landing space, and I don't know where or what that is. I don't know if this is the beginning of a turning point, right? Because we've got nothing, we've got no data. We're now looking for a new major turning point, right? So there you can see there on the daily time frame, that's kind of looks like that's what's happening. But for the most part, I know there are some people getting ready to sell Euro Swiss franc because they just feel like the bottom at least should meet, those lows all the way down there that I just showed you. So if I do something like this, and then I do something like this, yeah, I'll take the sale. Yeah, so I would definitely be looking to sell here, and I know it's on a daily time frame, but just so we're clear, I definitely want to try and push Euro Swiss franc down on the daily there. All right, that's what I'm going to do. And if markets, but this could go against us, guys, because remember, if markets are looking for a new major turning point, we never know until that's done, until we're part of it, until we're like, oh damn, markets are fully converting to the upside. Markets were always trying to come up, type of thing. So just so you know, this trade carries a lot of uncertainty, right? Oh, there's a beautiful gap there. It all need to get filled, so be very careful. There's a gap down the H4, it will need to get filled. That's what markets are going to want to do. On the 2-hour time frame, gap gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Right, so you could do something like this. You could have a normal trading order there and there. All right, that's definitely one way to look at price. And then after that, you could have a hee-haw, cowboy, setup somewhere there again, closest to the stop loss. That would really, activate something of a biggish lot size because of the distance. It's up to you, right? But yeah, that's kind of like the trade idea I'm getting from Euro Swiss franc. And I wish I was doing all of this on the correct chart, where we already have marked our intraday lines, right? So So you see this old classic demand was broken, and on, I think, let's go daily here on our charts, and then somewhere here I think is where we want to be, somewhere up there, H4. Oh man, where is it? But you guys saw what I just did, right? You just saw I drew a Fibonacci called the golden ratio tracement, and then kind of like just started to track down, clean MTA all the way in there. So somewhere here, like I said, then we did H4, and then we did H2, and then we found, so this broker here on Owanda won't show us the gaps, but we can tell that this is what we're targeting in the other previous chart. All right, so this is also quite a retested area. You know, it does knock down some confidence, but nonetheless, you know, it's the only place where I'm willing to take a risk, right? So that's Euro Swiss franc, right? Pound USD, chart number 9. All right, so that NFP trade, I really should have let it run. Right, I really should have let it run. But there we go. Remember, I spoke about pound, guys. I did say pound is going to catch up with euro, but it has to first deal with its immediate problems. And right now, its immediate problems are this demand that it created when it was breaking structure. Right, it's not an easy job. It's not an easy job. Let you know, Comprande do his job, like do his thing. You can see on the weekly time frames already taken out the first demand in the way, and now he's dealing with the second weekly demand inside that monthly demand that it needs to take out, right? So far so good. All we can do is clap our hands. Now that area of value there where we had a lot of trepidation and we're not sure to take on that daily supply, there is now a weekly supply. So there was a lot of blustering made in that particular area. I'm just talking for swing trades for now. I don't like it because, you know, who could forget what this whole zone represents? Right, this whole zone represents massive glass effect, but somewhere in there is a lot of sell orders that have done a good job now into breaking, excuse me, weekly and daily demands, right? So we need to kind of like give that, you know, some type of recognition. And then also somewhere inside there now is a new lower daily demand that we might be able to kind of like pull some resources from. We just have to be very smart. So this is where that NFP situation happened on Friday, right? When NFP was positive, dollar strong, but dollar fell because of the supply, but all these risky assets fell as well, right? So we're looking at a situation like that. I would definitely take a risky trade idea there, even though I know that there are better supply somewhere up there. This I want to trade. I absolutely want to take the sell here on pound USD. But it means also, you know, some of you guys need to help the markets with your accounts. Cowboys, buy this thing up, please, so that we can sell it. I won't be in any buys, but that's where I am on pound USD. It's almost like I've given up on life right now because I'm not going on the correct charts, but I'll have to redo this analysis later on. Right, so FTSE 100, obviously yesterday we acknowledged a great drop and we say we want to see price push up. When price pushes up, now that it is clear where it wants to go, we want to take some long-term sells there. The price is pushing up today. Yesterday, markets found a new bottom. I don't know whether they found a new demand. I don't know, right? So markets are pushing up there. Right, now let's help our brother from Kenya, Demlin, on AUD Swiss franc, and then we can call it a day. Right, so 365, we are inside here. We are inside this one. I don't even know what's going on there, but just so we're clear, I posted that we've been triggered clearly on this. I will tell you guys that it's better to be a student because you get access to my trades on the spreadsheet. So I'll say this in the war rooms, and then later on when I'm all by myself and looking at the charts again, I'll think much more clearly. Then the final trade idea I normally put on the spreadsheet. So I'm just trying to find so many trades running on different accounts. Just give me 2 seconds, guys. I'm just trying to find one of my live accounts. There we go. Right, so this is just so everyone doesn't think we were talking in hindsight or theoretical or what. I don't know what you guys go through with fake mentors out there in the world, right? but we are literally moving on, you know, some thin ice here. Really moving on, or not thin ice, but for the most part, go. Right. So, okay, and we're looking for AUD Swiss franc. Right. So there's AUD Swiss franc, and I'm gonna go on the daily time frame. Right. So you see, got triggered in there. I mean, I did a short post about this on that. This is like my public, I don't know what to call it, like accountability account. It's almost like 6,000 US dollars. Where's the but I am trading very, very small lot sizes, like 0.01, because I'm only risking $250 of the 6, which is what a lot of people start off with, $200, $300, etc., etc. Right. So we entered there, which was quite nice and clean, on the daily time frame, quite nice and clean as well. All right. Okay, and then Damlin said on the comment section there, I missed this sale from yesterday. I placed a sell on H4 supply this morning. So now let's go to H4 supply so we can see. Oh, okay, I see you, man. I see you. Yeah, I mean, all I can say is it's the only option you have. You know what I'm saying? It's literally the only option you have. And for those of you who entered, you know, on time, you really want to see how price reacts to this H4 supply, right? How price reacts to this H4 supply. Can I get rid of this stuff, guys? Like, I'm just gonna go back. I want to work on TradeView, right? I'm just showing you guys that because you see on TradeView here, right? This is an old analysis, and I told everyone to sell there with the student group, right? Those are the access to my spreadsheet, because this just made more sense, and price came through exactly where we said it was going to come through, right? So if you look on the daily, same situation, right? This is not a picture. This is my active account, right? This is my active account. It's not a picture. You get, I don't know. I mean, I always hear horror stories in the Forex market with people pretending and what, right? So we've got this situation here. Now I just want to quickly now, you know, break this thing down for you on an analysis platform. All right. So let's look at this. So let's say this is gone now. This is gone. This is gone. This is gone, this is gone, and now let's go to H4, right? So it's pretty much the only choice you have if you miss this beautiful entry here. And everyone else who's in it, these are the kind of things you want to see in the markets before you make a decision to break even or to get out before you have an unnecessary loss. These are the kind of things you want to see in the market, all right? Just to be very clear. So number one, you know, you want to see price, you know, drop a little or come back immediately here, and then you want to see price leave, right? So that means if price does that, then Demlin is in the clear, right? The problem with the Demlin is now you're taking a secondary supply, right? You're not taking the higher supply, and so markets might enjoy using you and your money for liquidity, all right? So just be mindful of that. Those of you who entered here, if markets then leave willingly sometime today, tomorrow, you know, then you start to take your stop loss and you break even just above there, right? You could actually be brave and also take a second trade right now with Demlin and put a stop loss there. If you do that, then definitely break even on trade number 1, because you don't want 2 trades going against you, right? So you want to do the exact same 5% and then do that on trade number 2. Then Demlin, the question is, if you're taking that supply, the second sell supply on AUD, Swiss franc, H4, where's price going? Because you really have to have a very clear, nuanced prediction on that. Right now on the weekly, we're golden. On the daily, we're golden, right? On the governing time frame, we're kind of golden, right? This is a short area of reaction, right? So this could be the beginning of a beautiful swing, or we could get cut short. So just trade wise, traders. Remember sentiment markets. But for the most part, you know, this is shaping up quite okay. In fact, I'm just going to do exactly what I just told you guys to do right now in front of you, in case I forget, right? So I don't really like breaking even until I get a second order block, right? Type of situation. But I'm very much happy to add here. So I'll do that as my entry point. Guys, I'm done, by the way. Thank you so much. I'm just doing this so I don't forget, because I will forget. And because this is the mirror account, I can't really trade like a crazy person, right? So let's go 0.6765, oops, 653, and my stop loss will obviously just be above that area of value there, because I don't, you know, don't want to be taken out, but maybe a little bit more above. fundamentally because market might really try to raid that area before leaving, and then we will hope for the best there, right? But again, guys, sentiment trades, don't be static. So don't like treat markets in a very static way. There you go, a new sell order has been placed, and how much am I risking here? $5 US. Come on, man. I don't know. I mean, I know if your account is small, that's all, you know, but I'm just saying yeah, it just needs to be worth our time, right? So let's go again. Right, guys, thank you so much. Thank you for being with me. See you tomorrow again for another particular, you know, session. Just keep your thumb on a lot of the stuff going out there, a lot of the sentiment stuff, the war stuff, because anything can change at any point in time, and you don't want to be on the wrong side of your trades. To do that, trade immediate supplies to immediate demands all the time. All right, trade immediate supplies to immediate demands all the time, right? I'm not going to break even just as yet right now. I just want to watch this out a little bit, right? But otherwise, from me to you, to all of us, to each other, have a good day. Goodbye. Have a good day. Goodbye. I'm ending the live. Damien, I hope that helped you, brother. Good luck with that trade. I've joined you there, so you know, I hope it's worth something. Cheers, everybody. Goodbye. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you're not already part of the 365 Trading Academy family, right? See you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.